Many celebrities have gone under the knife. Some of them worked, but others didn't. And now there's those out there who can say that they actually look worse now that they've undergone the procedure. Are any of them redeeming? Well, let's find out. Kenny Rogers doesn't think his is, to quote the country crooner himself, "I'm not happy about it," is how he describes his botched eyelid job he received. In the same interview with People magazine in 2006, the singer stated that the botched job drives me crazy. If you look at pictures of younger Kenny Rogers, you can see the difference. And since 2006, Rogers went on to have an upper facelift as well, which when paired with a botched eyelid job had an unfortunate effect, which is high eyebrows, excessive space between the upper eyelids and eyebrows, and then a hollow space above his eyes. The result's an alien-like Kenny Rogers that looks stretched out and surprised. But that's still better than watching Erin Moriarty's devastating changeover. Plastic surgery is particularly interesting in the case of this boys star. After all, her character in the show, Starlight, struggled with media attention on her body and pressure to look a certain way. Now, fans have pointed out, Erin underwent surgery for the exact thing Starlight was trying to run away from. Fans were crushed when the beautiful Erin debuted her new face. She's gone buccal fat-free, had a chin and jaw shave surgery, her lips injected, botox, a boob job, and a nose job. The girl looks like a completely different version of herself, paired with new lash extensions and microbladed eyebrows. To quote one Twitter user, "Downgrade simply historic. Stop operating on things and get mental help." Moriarty, similar to many stars before her, responded harshly to comments like that and those pointing out the plastic surgery she had done. And she even launched into an angry tirade against host Megyn Kelly, who recently did a news story with Daily Wire's Michael Knowles, calling plastic surgery a social illness. Kelly had used Moriarty as an example, saying more and more young women are doing this, referring to the unnecessary plastic surgery she received. Kelly also said it's not about an objection to plastic surgery, it's about an obsession with turning yourself into this fake version of yourself. I find it like a sign of mental illness. I really want to get into the heads of these young girls and say, please don't do this. Moriarty didn't appreciate being publicly used as an example of plastic surgery, and neither does socialite Chrissy Teigen, who is quoted by Allure in 2017 saying that everything on my face is fake but my cheeks are real, but that didn't stay that way for long. Chrissy later revealed in September of 2021 that even now she underwent buccal fat removal from her cheeks in an Instagram story she wrote. She also revealed to a room of beauty editors 2 years ago that she had, and I quote, "an armpit sucked out, which is one of the best things she'd ever done for herself," she said, according to Refinery29. To quote her, "It's a big secret, but I don't care. It was 9 years ago or so, and I had 2 inches to my armpit." While she said it was the dumbest, stupidest thing I've ever done, she also said she had no regrets about it. "It was so easy," she said. "It made me feel better in dresses, I felt more confident, and she's open about plans to do it again." To quote her, "Now it's back though, so I've got to pay for liposuction again." She also revealed just this past January that she has had 4 breast jobs in her life, 2 to put them in and 2 to take them out. Chrissy, as open as she is, has regretted revealing what she has about plastic surgery. However, as many fans point out to other procedures she has had done but won't admit to yet, or simply make fun of what work she's had done over the years and what they feel is overly prominent, causing mass blowouts over social media between the model and her fans, who ruthlessly commentate on her ever-changing face. Speaking of an ever-changing face, Megan Fox must have gone to the Kardashians, Madison Beers, Lady Gaga, the Hadids, well, everybody's plastic surgeon. Megan doesn't look worse post-plastic surgery, but she looks common for a celebrity. Because if you haven't noticed, all the celebrity women are kind of starting to morph into like one person futuristically, especially those who get work done, which goes to show when a surgeon's good at their job, everyone will recommend them to their friends. Megan Fox recently revealed the extent of her 60K's worth of plastic surgery on the Call Her Daddy podcast. She's had multiple breast jobs, a nose job, some Botox, nothing too crazy, but as she ages, the star has expressed interest in maintaining as youthful an appearance as possible and by any means. She's gonna pull a Madonna, essentially, so facelifts, Botox, fillers, and more. However, many of her fans aren't loving this new look. As you may recall, a photo of the star went viral from the recent Super Bowl party where she was noticeably different looking. As previously mentioned, it's not bad, but she just looks like a Kardashian, she looks like Madison Beer, etc., which resulted in a surge of commentary. Megan's response to the commentary, she attributed her vastly different face to a shadowy photo. show, saying, "Oh my god guys, look how different don't look at all," Megan insisted in her bizarre post. Turns out it was just a shadowy cell phone pic of me looking like a Ukrainian blow-up doll, when in reality I look like one of those super expensive silicone real dolls you can only get in Japan. Yeah, obviously this is not the most tasteful response, and it earned the celebrity even more backlash. It takes a while for people to get used to a celebrity's changing face, especially so often, but Simon Cowell's viewers have been long since used to it. The man loves a good facelift. Cowell's one of the most prominent celebs when it comes to TV entertainment, being an absolute jackass to people for the delightment of others. But the fact that the man looks like a new person every other season of the shows nowadays is concerning his ever-adoring watchers. Simon, hearing their concerns, has expressed disinterest in stopping. He's never shied away from talking about loving facelifts. Hell, he's even admitted to other things like fillers, botox, and actual cosmetic surgery. Even telling The Sun back in 2018 he got a $2,000 facelift from the Picasso of dermatology. Yeah, Simon Cowell's fame and TV genre come from in a very specific era of viewership and content consumption, one that overlapped with Carrot Top. He wouldn't have gotten famous for his gags and prop comedy if he was to be born again and tried again today, but Carrot Top existed in the perfect era for the slapstick shtick to make it into the mainstream and actually gain some real popularity. In 2011, Dr. Anthony Yoon spoke to CBS News about stars who seem to have gotten plastic surgery, and Yoon said in his opinion, Carrot Top got chemical peels or a laser treatment of some kind, which resulted in his overly smooth and waxy appearance. He also mentioned an upper facelift was possible, being an explanation for the forehead tightness and, well, Carrot Top's super raised eyebrow look. These days, to quote, Carrot Top is looking more and more like a muscle-bound cartoon character, joked Dr. Yoon. Speaking of waxy, however, let's throw it back in time real quick to Wayne Newton, who became an uncanny valley version of himself. Fans noticed it for the first time in 2018 when he appeared on The Bachelorette to give romance advice to the suitors. Quote, "Wayne Newton has had so much plastic surgery that his face can't move, but you can still see the disappointment on what's left of it. Hashtag The Bachelorette," one viewer tweeted. And another wrote, "Wayne Newton's face looks like when bank robbers put on a latex mask to conceal their identity." Others compared the singer's face to that of his wax figure counterpart found in Las Vegas museums. To quote, "Wayne Newton is at a point where you really can't tell the difference between his actual self and his wax self at the Vegas Museum." And another user chimed in, "The big news of this episode of the hashtag The Bachelorette is that Wayne Newton climbed inside his own wax figure and walks around in it like nothing's wrong." While the singer vehemently denies any plastic surgery claims, sources have reported during some of his most famous accrued debt periods, he owed several hundred thousands of dollars to plastic surgeons. Liam Payne has a starkly slimmed down face on the red carpet in 2023, which didn't go unnoticed by fans or cosmetic surgery experts. To quote, "He didn't look bad before, but his face, instead of looking soft and a little bit chubby, it looks more modelish and rugged," plastic surgeon Dr. Ramtin Kassir said, obviously finding some nicer words for it than gaunt and sickly. Liam clearly jumped on the celebrity buccal fat removal wave, attempting to force his boyish face into a sharp rogue, which is definitely not for him and his bone structure. And it looks like he added fillers to his jaw and chin, according to Kassir, to try and balance out the face removal, but in reality made proportions just jut out. Our next two celebs are sisters, the first being Noah Cyrus. So in January 2023, Noah attended Paris Fashion Week, sharing a photo on Instagram. Although many fans praised the July singer's bold blue ensemble, a few others focused on her face and accused her of going under the knife again. "Oh my god, she ruined her beautiful face. Why? Just why?" one person commented under the post, whereas several commenters suggested, that's Botox. Noah Cyrus first went through shocking visual changes circa 2020. She debuted lip filler and forehead filler, and she had the the eyebrows. Anyway, and it was a trend at the time and something she has maintained since, but in 2023 it looks like she went a step further. She got a nose job, and now in 2024 she got buccal fat removal that leaves her looking gaunt. But the changes Noah has gone through are nothing compared to her sister Miley Cyrus, whose veneers are simply too big for her mouth. I cannot stop talking about it. Seriously, that's why her mouth's always open now. She's got some seriously bad veneers. Like her or not, the teeth too too big for your mouth aren't really something anyone can make work or hide, and it gives like a horse effect that pairs horribly with her recent buccal fat removal, which left the famously round and soft-faced Miley with that of a Victorian ghost. Pair the buccal fat remover and the big veneers with some lip filler, a blepharoplasty, aka eyebrow lift, and her newest diet of Ozempic, Miley looks like a permanently surprised Tim Burton character. While her newest 70s country blend aesthetic is helping carry these newly augmented features, you know, big coiffed hair distracts from yanked back eyebrows, and slinky 70s dresses hide an alarmingly thin frame. There's no denying Miley's plastic surgery changes.
And for number 10, we have Courtney Cox. On an appearance of the Floss Angeles podcast, this Friends star reflected on her own procedures and her reasonings on why she decided to get her fillers dissolved. She spoke about how once you get fillers and you look at yourself in the mirror, you believe it looks good without realizing what it looks like from an outside person, before adding how you don't notice it looks off, so you keep getting more and more done because you look normal to yourself. But now she's grateful that fillers are removable, as she admitted that she thinks she messed up a lot, but now luckily she was able to reverse most of that, and now she's actually just older. She has also confirmed she had all her facial fillers dissolved in 2017 and now is rocking her own natural beauty. And for our number 9, we have Simon Cowell. Imagine seeing a photo of yourself but having to do a double take after you couldn't even recognize you, because that is exactly what happened to Simon Cowell. He attempted to appear younger, which resulted in him getting botox and ultimately didn't get the reaction probably thought he would have. According to The Sun, who spoke to Simon and a cosmetic doctor, Dr. Naila Raja, mentioned how she suspects Simon's falling complexion was a result of too much botox and weight loss. But after not recognizing his own face, he began to realize he may have gone a bit too far, and even mentioned how the procedure made him look like something out of a horror film. And since then, he has gotten his fillers removed. Yep, that's right, all the filler in his face. He now just gets facials, but even admitted he went too far once upon a time, as she shares he once hired a girl to put oils on his face, wrap it in plastic wrap and tinfoil, then locked him in a tube for an hour in his own home while she discussed what she liked and disliked about his shows. And another time, he even received a sheep placenta facial, which he even admitted was quite out there. Plus, he even tried a detoxing machine, which he said looked like something out of Doctor Who, as it was like a spaceship landed in his bedroom. And the man who locked him in it for 90 full minutes pitched him TV shows, but now he focuses on working out and taking care of himself instead of filling his face up. And for number 8, we have Yolanda Hadid. This supermodel, who also has supermodel kids as well, which of course include Gigi and Bella, revealed in 2019 she has chosen to remove every single cosmetic procedure she has ever done, and this included breast implants, fillers, botox, extensions, and everything else. Yolanda described how she thought she needed to keep up with what society conditioned her to believe how a beautiful woman should look like, until all the toxicity almost ended her life. She stated, "Beauty has no meaning without your health," and she ultimately chose to reverse her procedures because of her ongoing battle to defeat the effects of Lyme disease. In 2015, her breast implants were actually removed after discovering they were ruptured and leaking into her chest cavity, and this made her symptoms from the condition and infectious diseases caused by bacteria named Borrelia, which is spread by ticks. She urges others to make sure they're making educated decisions and do lots of research before putting anything foreign in your body. And for number 7, we have Cardi B. Back in 2022, she discussed how she removed 95% of her biopolymers, which she discussed before was illegally given to her in a girl's basement back in 2014 for $800. And these injections were silicone for her rear end, and even gave advice for the public, as she said that if you're young like 19, 20, or 21 and believe you're too skinny to have any fat to be transferred elsewhere and result in these injections, Cardi says don't. She also talked about her insecurities growing up in the Bronx, New York, and everyone was thick and young boys would poke fun at her body, which made her feel ugly and underdeveloped. Although she isn't reversing all her surgeries, she definitely is over her behind and leaving that, well, behind her. And for number 6, we have Sharon Osbourne. This TV personality, music manager, and author admitted she ultimately gave up on plastic surgery after a failed procedure back in 2021. She received a facelift, which left her one eye lower than the other, and even admitted this put her off and frightened her. She told The Sun, "I really pushed it with the last facelift, and I am now like, no more. Time is against me, I cannot have another facelift." And she also spoke about her facelift with Sunday Times, where she described herself looking like a mummy as they wrapped her with bandages and how it hurt a lot. Sharon has also added that the 5.5-hour procedure was not worth the time or money, and she even recalls telling the surgeon, "You've gotta be effing joking," when she first saw the results. And her husband, Ozzy Osbourne, told her, "I don't care how much it costs, we'll get it redone." But it seems like that may not be necessary, because after 7 months, she says her facelift is finally settling and likes her new look. So not a surgical reverse, but it seems like her face is slowly reversing on its own, so I guess it's a win-win. And at number 5, we have Chrissy Teigen. This former model who married John Legend first got breast implants when she was just 20 years old because she thought it would look better in photos. But ever since she had kids, they filled up with milk and then deflated. And that wasn't the only issue, because she wanted to be able to zip up dresses in her size, lay on her belly with pure comfort, which ultimately left her with her decision to remove them. And this isn't uncommon, as breast implants are recommended to be either removed or exchanged every 10 to 15 years, and she was 34 when she decided to get them removed, which meant she was perfectly at that window. And the main reason for her removal was for her to feel comfort once again. And at number 4, we have Blac Chyna. Her real name is Angela White, and many know her for being Nicki Minaj's double in Kanye's music video Monster back in 2010, and of course being the mother to Dream Kardashian, who she shares with Robert Kardashian. While she was younger, she wanted to fit in and look like the it girls, which resulted in her getting procedures to fit the standards at the time. But recently, she has been on a journey to undo her procedures, as she admitted herself the alter ego that made her famous caused her to lose her true self, and now has even began focusing on her health. Got baptized and even earned a doctoral degree in liberal arts from Seminary College. And when she discusses why she has chosen to reverse a lot of her procedures, she shares how ever since she began to slim down, her features began to come out, including her cheekbones. And with the filler she previously received, and now that she's becoming slimmer, it all started to protrude now that her face was becoming slimmer. And she faced the same issue with her body, and she wasn't happy with how she looked. She got her dermal fillers dissolved, removed 7 rounds of butt injections that were illegal, and reduced her breast implants. But just a few days ago, she posted on Instagram about how she wanted to fully take out her implants because she's tired of the fake look, and admitted that it was too big for her body and frame, and generally didn't fit her person anymore. And she actually faced complications after her doctor recommended going smaller and smaller rather than all at once, and on the left side, the muscle contracted around the implant, making it very painful. And for number 3, we have Melanie Griffith. This actor and mother of Dakota Johnson first had cosmetic procedures in hopes of keeping her looking young, which ultimately led her to having more and more fillers and injections to plump up her lips and smooth out her wrinkles. She actually believed there was nothing wrong with her new look until she read so many negative comments about her look and decided to get her injections and fillers dissolved. And in an interview with Porter magazine, she talked about getting injections and the removal process, which has taken her more than 3 years to get it all dissolved. She admitted she didn't notice how her face looked to others until she read comments from what other people had asked what she's done with her face. Melanie was hurt and went to a different doctor, and that's when he dissolved all the filler another doctor originally put in, and now admits it was awful. And many referenced her lips as trout pout, which she believes was caused by an allergic reaction she had with the substance being used, which caused her lips to balloon up. And for number 2, we have Mickey Rourke. This former professional boxer and actor faced a ton of injuries while boxing, which included breaking his nose twice, snapped his cheekbones, and even damaged his ribs and toes. He was advised to quit the sport or sustain potentially permanent brain damage. And in 1990, his film Wild Orchid sparked comments about his cheeks being visibly swollen. And later in 2009, he admitted this was due to botched plastic surgery, as most of it was an attempt to mend his face because of boxing. But he explained he went to the wrong guy to put his face back together, so he would continue procedures to try and fix his first procedure. And aesthetic doctor and hair transplant surgeon Hala El-Ghamdi talked to the Mirror about how the possible causes to Mickey's face, which she believes was overdone and messed up the ratios. Plus, she says it's easy to overdo Botox, and there are no lines on his forehead. Although he has attempted to reverse his botched surgery, it is still not exactly how it used to be, but as long as he's gaining confidence and becoming happier with himself, then that's all that matters. And for our number 1 spot, of course we have the Kardashians. Although they have never admitted to getting a BBL, it has been quite obvious that their previous rear ends were anything but natural. Although their bodies have been kept a hot topic, it became an even hotter topic after Kim posed for the cover of Paper magazine in 2014, where she popped a bottle of champagne while balancing a glass on her rear end, and it became so famous that it was even rumored she insured her backside for over $21 million. But within recent years, many have compared her old rear end to her new one, as it seems it has been slowly decreasing in size. One source, who is apparently close with the star, says that she simply stopped getting her BBLs topped off, as she used to have the procedures frequently frequently, but now has ultimately stopped receiving BBLs and has let it slowly reduce as she loses weight. And it wasn't only Kim who has apparently stopped receiving the procedure, as Khloe has also been photographed with a drastic difference in proportions as compared to the years prior. The sisters have been criticized for their gym workout videos, as many believe their forms reveal how their glutes were definitely not built from lifting weights, but rather injected by their own fat. However, this is all speculation. The photos comparing the years prior to now should be enough for you to make a decision if they really did reverse their BBL or not. And at the time, their rear ends caused huge media frenzies, especially in 2015, when many thought it was too obvious and fake. But for the younger and more impressionable audience, it got a lot of attention for them to try and achieve this look by working out, as they simply thought that's what the sisters did to achieve their looks. And even to this day, they still haven't admitted to getting a BBL, but their sister Kylie has recently revealed she did get her breasts done and does regret it. And for number 10, we have Simon Cowell. This talent show judge sparked many comments after people saw recent photos of him appearing completely different. Although many speculated Simon has been getting Botox since 2009, it wasn't until 2018 when many saw the change in his entire face after he received a facelift. He told The Sun he chose to get the Silhouette Soft Lift, which cost him around $2,000, and shared how it hurt a lot, but it gets rid of sun damage and unplugs whatever's on his face. Many of the public began to speculate the amount of work he had done to his face since 2016, which ultimately prompted Simon to admit to The Sun that he probably did have a little too much a couple years ago, before adding that after years of Botox, he began to feel like he was starting to look like something out of a horror film, and shared how he saw a photo of himself and didn't even recognize it was him at first. And since then, he's had his fillers removed. And for number 9, we have Bella Hadid. As one of the highest paid models in the world, it's hard to imagine they have insecurities as well. At just 14 years old, this supermodel underwent a nose job with both her parents consenting to it. She opened up about her procedure while doing an interview for Vogue, as she discussed her experience growing up in the industry. Bella reflects on her nose job and even expressed her regrets, as she stated, "I wish I had kept the nose of my ancestors. I think I would have grown into it." As for many, noses hold a ton of personality and a connection to their ancestry and culture, as Glamour described. These surgeries are done in a way to create a more Eurocentric features, and Bella even expressed her insecurities growing up, comparing herself to her older sister Gigi Hadid. She referred to herself as the ugly sister because she was brunette and not as cool and outgoing compared to her blonde and also model sister. But also, she has said that she's overcome her insecurities by being a good actress by putting on a smiley and strong face, as she believes anyone can talk about how she looks, talks, and acts, but in 7 years, she's never missed, cancelled, or showed up late for a job, so no one can say she didn't work hard. And for number 8, we have Doja Cat. Earlier this year, Doja revealed she underwent a breast reduction and liposuction, and even shared her experience on X, formerly known as Twitter. She tweeted that she feels okay, and she got liposuction in her thighs, so it hurts a lot when she moves too much. But she did say she was healing very fast. Her tweets from March during her recovery are very detailed, but it's clear she's happy with how she looks. But unfortunately, it is too graphic to share the exact words Doja tweeted, but if you want to be entertained, Google it. Many were glad to see how transparent she was, as she tweeted the previous year about how she had plans to get surgery due to her tops not fitting the way she would like. And for our number 7, we have Mickey Rourke. This actor and professional boxer has turned the heads of many after many believe he's completely unrecognizable. Due to his career in boxing, it altered his appearance, and when he went to get plastic surgery to fix these issues, it instead made the damage even worse. He spoke to Daily Mail and shared how he had broken his nose twice and had 5 operations and 1 on his smashed cheekbone. They even had to take cartilage from his ear to rebuild his nose, and even more operations to scrape out the cartilage because it wasn't healing properly. He admits most of the mess was due to boxing, but he went to the wrong guy to put his face back together, and ever since then has been trying to get his face to a point where he's happier with it. And for our number 6, we have Cardi B. This rapper reveals she was undergoing a procedure to remove her butt implant, specifically 95% of it. She had biopolymer injections done in order to give her rear end some extra volume, but admitted through an Instagram live her plans on removing it. She previously shared she felt pressured into getting these implants while she worked as an adult entertainer, and she even did it illegally in a basement for $800 by a woman who was even later accused of ending the life of someone she previously gave injections to. This procedure is dangerous on its own, but in a woman's basement, it sounds like a recipe for a disaster. Cardi shared some advice as she's extremely against biopolymer and how it was a crazy process to remove them and strongly advises her fans to never get them. And for our number 5, we have Amy Schumer. In 2022, she revealed she had liposuction done after the birth of her son, as she shared a post onto Instagram of her in her bathing suit and even noting she weighed 170 pounds now. Amy even admitted she never thought she would do anything, but in her words she said, "But talk to me after your uterus doesn't contract for 2.5 years and you turn 40. She further detailed how she changed her mind on plastic surgery after getting her uterus and appendix removed in order to fix her endometriosis and after welcoming her son through C-section. And in an interview with Hollywood Reporter, she shared how it's not about needing to be slamming, but she said she's never been famous for being hot, but she'd reached a point where she was tired of looking at herself in the mirror. Amy even said she has no regrets with her decision and owning up to it because everyone on camera is doing it, but she just wanted to be real about it. And for number 4, we have Tyra Banks. This model and host of America's Next Top Model decided to speak up about her nose job she got early in her career. She has been an advocate to empower young women through beauty and in 2018 felt like she had the responsibility to tell the truth. In her memoir titled Perfect is Boring, which she co-authored with her mother, she revealed she had a nose job as she expressed the bones in her nose that were growing and itching, but explained to people that she could breathe fine but added cosmetic surgery. She admitted to fake hair and getting her nose done, but claims she hasn't gotten any age stuff, which many assume means botox and facelifts. She told people, "If you like your natural self, don't worry about it. But if you feel insecure about something, I have a magic bag of beauty tricks to make you who you want to be. Permanent or temporary, I do not judge that." And for number 3, we have James Charles. This influencer had an interview with model Naomi Campbell for her YouTube channel, and he revealed how much work he had gotten. He admitted to lip fillers and botox at the time, and he was just 21. Although he admitted to these fillers, 2 years later in a TikTok video he made impersonating his fans, he said, "Wow, your blank is huge," and his response was by saying the BBL is BBLing. However, this confused many because it wasn't a clear answer whether he got his butt done or not, and after some investigating, fans realized in one of his videos it showed his Amazon past purchases and adult diapers was one of them. And these diapers are recommended by doctors for people who have gotten a BBL to prevent any leaks. Do you think this is James' way of coming clean about his BBL, or do you think he's just trolling and never gotten one? And for number 2, we have Raven Simone. This former Disney child star who could see the future as she starred in the show That's So Raven has shared her experiences with several cosmetic procedures she went through before even turning 18. She shared on a podcast, The Best Podcast Ever with Raven and Miranda, which her wife Miranda and herself are the hosts. When Miranda asks why she decided on her surgeries, Raven shared at the time her dad encouraged her to do it because she was ashamed of her weight. In fact, she got 2 breast reductions and liposuction before legally becoming an adult. She not only shared her procedures, but also the health risks that come with it as she suffered from a seizure after her first reduction. Raven shared how women's bodies change from teenager to adult and advised others to wait until they're fully developed for any surgeries. But she did admit that getting work done was the best decision to prevent a certain body part from drooping below her ankles. And now she's continued her health journey by taking sugar out of her diet, and with the help of her wife, went from 209 pounds to 170. And in her number 1 spot, we have Kylie Jenner. I'm sure you could have guessed at least one of the members of the Kardashian-Jenner family would be on this list. After all, they have been criticized for years after many believe they have continued to set unrealistic body standards, especially because many of their fans are young, impressionable kids and teens. And because they haven't been transparent about their past and quite obvious procedures, it has caused potentially more harm than good. While the youngest sister in the family has created an empire over her lips. For years, Kylie told the public that she was just overlining her lips with makeup, and every time she showed her Snapchat what lip liner she used, her fans would instantly sell out that product, which prompted her to create Kylie Cosmetics. Fans even created the Kylie Jenner challenge, which fans would put their lips in a cup and suck on it, creating a suction which would plump their lips. But many had fails as their entire lip became bruised. It wasn't until years later she finally admitted to getting lip injections after it became a lifelong insecurity of hers. But that wasn't the only procedure she was accused of, because back in 2017, her Instagram photos within the span of months showcased the dry drastic size difference in her breasts. Once again, it took a while to admit because years ago she thanked the Victoria's Secret bombshell bra for her desired look, but in July of this year, she finally opened up about her breast augmentation on the Kardashians. She revealed she was just 19 when she underwent surgery, and while talking to her friend Stassi, she actually admitted to wishing she never got them and recommended anyone who was thinking about these procedures to wait until after they have children, as she reflected on how motherhood affected her views on plastic surgery. Kylie stated, "I have a daughter too. I would be heartbroken if she wanted to get her body done at 19. I want to be the best mom and best example for her. I wish I could be her and do it all differently cause I wouldn't touch anything." We have made it to the end of today's video. Many people tend to be split on whether celebrities should be openly admitting to their cosmetic procedures due to the influence they have on beauty standards, and it can be extremely harmful for a young audience, but others think celebrities don't owe it to anyone to be transparent, but I would love to hear your opinions on this.
Number 10. Heidi Montag. Back in 2010, the reality star traveled from California to her parents' home in Colorado in order to undergo an extensive list of cosmetic procedures. Heidi has had some really drastic surgery done, and she famously underwent 10 procedures in one day. It sounds crazy when you think about how difficult that would be to actually recover from, considering it was all done at the same time. Heidi had the massive surgery day in late 2009, which included breast implants, making her an F cup, a brow lift, a nose job update, lipo on her stomach and thighs, and a butt augmentation. The drastic photos of her new appearance hit the headlines in March of 2010, and the world was more than a little shocked. But 3 years later, Heidi admitted to Us magazine that she actually had big regrets and health problems as a result of this. Quote, "I just didn't realize what I was really signing up for. It just sounds so minor when you have a surgeon describing so much of it to you." She also said that at the time she wasn't fully aware of the recovery time and the mental strain that it would put on her, and she claims her surgeon left this out on purpose. She went on to have some of this work reversed eventually, but she mostly maintains her current look. If you're loving this video so far, please be sure to like and subscribe if you want to watch more like it. Number 9. Chrissy Teigen. In May of 2020, the model revealed on Instagram that she was undergoing surgery to have her breast implants removed. This is because she said she did not feel comfortable in her own skin. Chrissy opened up to Glamour UK about the breast augmentation she had when she was around 20. She said, "If you can't set these expectations for people that everything is perfect, everyone filters their photos, edits or face tunes, so you forget what normal faces or bodies look like. It's not fair and it makes you jealous of other people's bodies. It's lying to people by omission." Chrissy is one of the most outspoken celebrities when it comes to talking about plastic surgery and all the work that she's had done in the past. In 2017, she once pointed to her forehead, her nose and her lips and said, "Fake, fake, fake. Everything about me is fake except for my cheeks." In 2021, she also admitted to undergoing a controversial new surgery called buccal fat removal. She spoke out about it in a video on her Instagram story where she pointed out her sculpted cheek and said, "I did that Dr. Diamond buccal fat removal thing here, and since I quit drinking, I'm really seeing the results, and I like it." The video spread quickly through social media, and everyone had an opinion about whether or not they would get the surgery. Number 8. Gisele Bündchen. Having a baby changes everything about you and your body, and it turns out even supermodels have insecurities about their bodies, especially after giving birth. In her memoir called Lessons: My Path to a Meaningful Life, Gisele wrote that in 2015, after she finished breastfeeding 2 of her children, she decided to get breast implants, but she immediately regretted the decision. She told People magazine about the experience and said, "I felt very vulnerable because I can work out, I can eat healthy, but I can't change the fact that both my kids enjoyed the left boob more than the right. All I wanted was for them to be even and for people to stop commenting on it. When I woke up, I was like, what have I done? It felt like I was living in a body I didn't recognize. For the first year, I wore baggy clothes because I felt uncomfortable." The model said that she went through with the surgery because she became very self-conscious about the way she looked. Quote, "I was always praised for my body and I felt like people had expectations from me that I couldn't deliver." So clearly the pressure for her to have a perfect body was very real. Number 7. Kathy Griffin. In her memoir, the comedian opened up about a liposuction procedure that turned into a disaster. Her experience left her in the emergency room and it nearly killed her. Kathy showed some pretty gruesome photos in her book and she wrote, "I want women to know what this lipo looks like. Like, are you sure you don't want to just work out a little more?" This awful experience with liposuction led to some self-revelations, and now she often uses stories about her cosmetic procedures as inspiration for her stand-up routines. She said, "What I can't figure out is why I wasted my time worrying about my looks. I am a comedian. I'm not on the runway in Milan. Believe it or not, people don't come to see me thinking I'm going to look like Jennifer Aniston." In the past, the 62-year-old has also admitted to getting a nose job when she was 26. She said, "I was told repeatedly, you would look pretty if it it weren't for that nose. You'd work more if it weren't for that nose. I was young and impressionable, and I was told that enough that I started to believe it, so I got a nose job. And in the end, it was a decision that she greatly regretted. Number 6. Gwyneth Paltrow. In 2013, the actress covered the May issue of Harper's Bazaar, and in her lengthy interview, she revealed some secrets to her skincare regimen. She talked about her strong aversion to plastic surgery, and in doing so, she let it slip that she had tried Botox at one point, and it made her look crazy. She said, "I would be scared to go under the knife, but talk to me when I'm 50 and I'll try anything. Except I won't do Botox again because I looked crazy. I looked like Joan Rivers." So basically she had to insult someone else to make a point that she did not like Botox. But fast forward to March of 2021 and she completely changed her mind. She explained her decision to get injectables and said, "I had a midlife crisis when I turned 40 and I went to go see this doctor. It was a disaster. I didn't do anything else for a long time. I was bruised, my forehead was completely frozen, and I didn't like to look at myself at all." Glenna said that there is a lot of shame around surgery or injectables, and it would be nice if people felt confident about the choices they were making. Number 5. Janice Dickinson. Known as the world's first supermodel, Janice was hugely successful during the 1970s and 80s. Recently, she's appeared as a judge on America's Next Top Model, Celebrity Big Brother in 2015, and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. The 67-year-old has never been shy about admitting that she's had plastic surgery, and she also admitted to having breast enlargement, a tummy tuck, neck and facelifts, liposuction, and Botox in the past. Although the various surgeries had really gotten out of hand over the years, and in 2013 she declared herself bankrupt after $1 million in taxes and unpaid cosmetic bills. 2 years later she appeared on Botched to fix her boob job that was done 30 years before. She said at the time that she was no stranger to plastic surgery, but her perspective really changed in 2013 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. In fact, she initially thought that the lump in her breast meant that something was botched, so after she was diagnosed, Janet said that she wished she had never gotten breast implants. She told Entertainment Tonight, "If I had to play my life over again, I would never have gotten breast implants in the first place. I didn't need to have a mastectomy. I just said take them out right now." Luckily, the following year she was declared cancer-free after 6 weeks of radiation therapy. Number 4. Yolanda Hadid. In 2019, the former model and reality TV star announced that she had undone all of her plastic surgery, her fillers, and her hair extensions after years of having work done to herself. She posted a mirror selfie on Instagram with the caption, "55 and smiling from the inside out. Finally back to the original 1964, living in a body free of breast implants, fillers, Botox, extensions, and all the BS I thought I needed in order to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe was a sexy woman, until the toxicity of it all almost killed me." So what was the reason that she had all of her procedures reversed? Well, Yolanda realized that the adjustments that she made to her body were potentially harmful. She explained that it took her many years of undoing the bad choices that she made for herself before she finally found the freedom of internal beauty. She said, "Your health is your wealth, so please make educated decisions. Research the partial information you are given by our broken system before putting anything foreign in your body." The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills even captured the moment that Yolanda had her breast implants removed. Number 3. Mickey Rourke. The actor was once one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. He made his feature film debut with a minor role in Steven Spielberg's 1941, and he garnered significant attention with 1981's Body Heat. However, in the early 90s, the actor decided to take up professional boxing, and while that did bring him success, it also came with a string of severe facial injuries. Rourke was reportedly faced with a broken nose. He also suffered toe and rib injuries, a split tongue, a compressed cheekbone, and even short-term memory loss for some time. As a result, he had to undergo several reconstructive surgeries to fix himself up, but most of them did not achieve the desired result, so he had to undergo even more surgery to correct those mistakes. Eventually, his facial features were nearly unrecognizable compared to his initial appearance. In 2009, he finally opened up to the Daily Mail about it and said, "Most of it was to mend the mess of my face because of the boxing, but I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together," which is very sad because it was probably just down to having a really sketchy plastic surgeon. Number 2. Donatella Versace. The fashion designer is the vice president of one of the best-known Italian fashion houses, and of course she's massively successful, but she's also known for something else outside of the world of fashion. Donatella is a huge fan of plastic surgery and is notorious for how much work that she's had done. It's possible that the 67-year-old first underwent the knife just to enhance what nature gave her. If you look at her old photos, it is pretty obvious that her face has undergone a lot of changes. Many people believe that she underwent too many of those plastic surgery procedures, possibly to correct the mistakes in each of those previous surgeries. There's been speculation that her facelift has been done to an extreme, pointing out that she does seem to have a frozen look and is unable to make different facial expressions. She allegedly had lip augmentation augmentation, cheek implants, liposuction, and various other procedures. Conclusively, many have referred to Donatella as an extreme example of plastic surgery because there's nothing subtle about the work that she's had done. But the truth is, it probably had a lot to do with societal expectations and the pressure to maintain the image of her brand Versace. And coming in at number 1, Tara Reid. The American Pie star was one of Hollywood's it girls in the late 90s and early 2000s. But while she was at the pinnacle of success in her career, she was also going through various issues stemming from botched plastic surgery, and she ended up missing out on a whole bunch of roles just because of it. Tara claimed that in 2004, breast implants and liposuction surgeries left her with disfigurements that damaged her career. She told Us Weekly, quote, "My stomach became the most ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini. I lost a lot of work." Tara said that after the procedures, she knew something was wrong when it came to her breast implants, but she was 6 months post-op when she realized that it had been terribly botched. Quote, "The actual center part where the areola is, instead of being a circle, it turned out to be a large square. It was horrifying." She also went through an infamous wardrobe malfunction on the red carpet at Diddy's 35th birthday party back in 2004, which resulted in her body going viral, which left her devastated. Tara said she cried and begged photographers not to release the photos because the last thing she wanted was to have the whole world see it, but unfortunately, of course they did.
Number 10, Liam Payne. After debuting his new look, fans were quick to jump to Twitter, with fans joking that he and his ex Cheryl had couple surgeries. Rumors started circulating about what he could have possibly gotten done. Fans were wondering if it could be botox, the result of ozemic, jaw surgery, or just a bad edit. When pictures emerged showing his slimmer face and pretty chiseled jaw, it became speculated that he underwent a buccal fat removal. Back in 2021, Liam had complained about his looks in an interview, saying he felt very bloated. He said at the time, "I have put a lot of weight on. What got me, I did a performance on TV and I was disappointed with myself. I didn't look like how I wanted to look." A cosmetic surgeon has weighed in and spoken to Page 6. One surgeon commented on Liam's face was less chubby, making him look more like a model and rugged. Another surgeon warned about buccal fat removal, which is the most likely speculated surgery the singer has gotten done, explaining, "It is only suitable for those who are generally fit, have a good diet, exercise plan, and weight control, but their face is just round." Though he has yet to admit any of these changes, it seems like fans are torn about how they feel about the singer's new face. Number 9, Zac Efron. This is one surgery that was a necessity rather than a want, but it still broke the internet nonetheless. Zac Efron's plastic surgery speculations began back in 2021 when fans began noticing how different he was looking, with a much more pronounced jaw. Fans began believing that he went under the knife to achieve this look, which resulted in some being very upset at Zac for changing his face so drastically. But of course that was not the case, and his face transformation came from a more traumatic event. The actor told Men's Health in 2022 that he actually shattered his jaw while running through his house in socks. He then slipped and smacked his chin against the granite corner of a fountain. As a result of this, he lost consciousness, and when he woke up, he claimed his chin bone was hanging off of his face. Zac claimed why his jaw grew larger in the interview, sharing that because the muscles used for chewing were working with the other muscles of his face, and the muscles on the inside of his jaw had to compensate. He said the muscles just grew, they just got really big. Zac admitted to not even knowing about the plastic surgery rumors until his mother called him to ask him if these were true. Going on to say, "If I valued what other people thought of me to the extent they may think I do, I definitely wouldn't be able to do this job." Number 8, Chloe Cherry. The Euphoria actress Chloe Cherry has always admitted to getting some work done, but it seems she doesn't care too much about fan opinions on her lips. The star told Variety, "It's crazy how many people talk about my lips being so big. The amount of headlines that I have seen and the amount of people posting and commenting about my lips has been surreal." She explained how these unwanted critics are ones that she's never had to face in her life before, saying, "It's nuts because you have to realize that I got these lips at some point in my life and no one reacted that way, at least not to my face." Going on to say, "So it's weird to see memes and stuff about it because these topics of conversation are on my body and I totally didn't comprehend what the big deal was." She has said though that people do need to realize that the memes can hurt. She told Paper, "It hurt a lot because I had no idea. People think it's okay to say that about someone's looks." Number 7, we have Melanie Griffith. Known for her role in Working Girl as well as many other classics from the 70s to 90s, she's been known to have an iconic look that many can recognize. But over the past few years, she has been receiving backlash for not keeping her natural facial features. Though she has previously denied getting any work done, she decided to come clean in 2018. When discussing her appearance, she claimed that she didn't realize how drastic these procedures had changed her. She goes on to say, "I didn't realize until people started saying, 'What has she done?' I was so hurt, so I started dissolving everything, so hopefully I can look more normal now." These days, it seems Melanie is more interested in focusing on her health and fitness rather than getting more procedures done. But what do you guys think of Melanie's changing appearance? Number 6. Amanda Lepore. The model and singer Amanda Lepore is said to have one of the most expensive bodies in the world. Her love of Marilyn Monroe from such a young age seemed to be a big player in her appearance from then on. Of course, she has always been very open about what she's had done, even coming out with a book called Doll Parts. She told the Post in the past, "I sometimes think about getting more stuff done to my body, but not really. Plastic surgery is for when you don't like things. Everything I've already got looks so good." Her plastic surgery consists of enlarging her breasts, implanting silicone into her butt, and even reportedly moving 3 ribs in order to have a thinner waist, among other things. She did admit that at the time it was an unusual choice, but she thought that Cher and Raquel Welch did the same. With all these surgeries, you can assume she doesn't love them all, but that is true in her case. Amanda has admitted that she's not so pleased with the complete outcome of her plastic surgeries more recently. She revealed that she has hoped her surgeries would transform her into either Marilyn Monroe or Jessica Rabbit. Even so, she still seems to be relatively happy with her decision to undergo these intense procedures, and said in an interview, "The main thing is to love yourself and not pay attention to others." Number 5. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley, another star who has been in the spotlight for many years, famously being married to the great Elvis Presley. She's definitely seen some better times when coming to plastic surgeries though. After reportedly falling victim to a phony cosmetic doctor back in 2003, Daniel Serrano, a doctor from Argentina, would attend these lavish cocktail parties in Hollywood, and he would operate in the elite for the price of $300 to $500. Claiming these injections were way better than Botox, Priscilla unfortunately fell victim. Revealed later and after the fact for poor Priscilla was that Serrano was only licensed as a nurse and used a type of silicone that is often used for car parts. This led to uncovering more of Serrano's misconduct and led to his imprisonment. This pushed Priscilla to have to go through yet another surgery to correct all the past mistakes back in 2008. This helped but didn't quite fix the damage done. Priscilla says when going over the event, "To this day, I have big bags under my eyes and I'm still trying to get treated for it. It's a constant battle and I feel like I have sand in my eyes." Number 4. Linda Evangelista. Linda, the former supermodel, went under the knife in the past but has now suffered a rare side effects from the procedure. What she has claimed has left her permanently disfigured. In an Instagram post back from 2021, the model explains that her absence from the spotlight is due to her botched surgery. She shared in the post, "I was brutally disfigured by the cool sculpting procedures which did the opposite of what it promised. It increased, not decreased my fat cells and has left me permanently deformed." She added, "Even after undergoing 2 painful, unsuccessful corrective surgeries, I have been left, as the media has described, unrecognizable." With her drastic change in her appearance, she shares how she is tired of living the way she has been and wants to walk out the door feeling confident even though she doesn't look like what she did when she was younger. Many fans loved and supported her on social media, with one commenting, "You're a true icon and always will be." But others weren't so sure, not totally loving her comment about looking horribly disfigured. One Instagram user wrote, "Horribly disfigured? Come on, it's called aging." Number 3, we have Heidi Montag. Best known for her role in The Hills, Heidi Montag was definitely one of the up-and-coming stars from the early 2000s. But after undergoing an extreme full-body plastic surgery operation, her career took a bit of a turn. After her operation in 2010, she shared to the media how she felt before, saying, "When I watched myself on The Hills, my ears would be sticking out like Dumbo. I just wanted to feel more confident and look in the mirror and be like, whoa, look at me. I was an ugly duckling before." Heidi ended up undergoing 10 procedures in one day, which included Botox, breast augmentation, liposuction, chin reduction, and more. She revealed that all these surgeries resulted in the star passing away for a minute, even prompting her security guards to call her husband saying she wasn't going to make it. After this life-altering change she went through in just 24 hours, not only her looks changed but her career. Reportedly, the star went broke not long after the intense procedure. She told the press in 2018, "The money was coming in so fast and it led me to believe that this was my life forever." She added, "It just kinda caught up with us. It was a lot and it was really overwhelming. I just think we need to reevaluate and reground our lives and our values." Because of getting these surgeries done at such a young age and all at once, Heidi has to live with long-term health complications. More recently, Heidi told Cosmopolitan that she wishes she waited, saying, "I was really self-involved at the time, like so many young people. I think I looked in the mirror a little too much."
Number 2, we have Dolly Parton. This incredible singer, Dolly Parton, has been open in the past about explaining and talking about her plastic surgery that she has gotten done. She's even admitted that with all the time and money she spent on achieving her look, she wants people to notice, especially when it comes to her breasts. In an interview, she said, "I've slapped a few people who didn't stare at them. This kind of money, they better be looking at them." Aside from her breasts, she has also undergone work on her lips and eyes in the past and said that her surgeon does all of her fender work. Never appearing to regret most of her procedures, she has explained, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap. If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I'm going to have it nipped, tucked, or sucked." When asked in 2018 about her decision to go through these very physically altering operations, she said, "I've created my own look to build my confidence because there are very few people are born beautiful, with natural beauty, and I certainly am not one." These procedures did come with quite a price tag though, with all the operations totaling to a reported $1 million. And at number 1, we have Kenny Rogers. Kenny was one of the best country singers from the 70s to 90s, best known for his songs The Gambler and Lady and She Believes in Me. Back in the late 90s, when fans seemed to wonder what happened to the legend after he underwent a few procedures that nearly made him unrecognizable to fans. Some say that these extreme invasive operations would later turn out to be the star's biggest controversies throughout his life. Before Kenny passed away, he admitted how he felt he needed to reinvent himself in order to compete with the new up-and-comings in the music world. In his memoir, Kenny shared that he really began considering surgery in fear that his time was coming to an end if he didn't make a drastic change. He revealed that he had various procedures on his face, including an eye lift. He later shared that he wasn't too impressed with the results of the eye surgery and said in 2006, "The surgeon is gonna go in and fix that for me. They're too tight around the eyelids for me, it drives me crazy. If we can fix that, then I'll be glad I did. And if we can't fix it, I'll regret it or get used to it." In 2012, during an interview with CBS, he explained further what fueled his desire for the dramatic changes to his face. He said, "I had the money to do it and I had the time off. I regret that, but the truth is, I don't know what I would look like if I hadn't done it."